Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to This Grand Life. For those of you joining me for the first time ever, my name is Sabouts, and for those of you returning, welcome back. So what is This Grand Life? It is a personal and financial simulator. So essentially, you get to make a character, and you get to go through life, acquiring vast amounts of wealth and money. Or maybe you want to focus on being smart and going to school and getting a good education. You might be focused on possessions. Maybe you want to acquire lots of possessions like nice clothes and a nice car, a nice TV and appliances. Or maybe you just want to focus on life happiness, being around loved ones and families, going on vacation, seeing the world. There's a lot of stuff you can do in this game, different scenarios, difficulty settings, traits and perks you can set up. You could set yourself up for success, or you could set yourself up for failure. There's a lot of things you could do in this game. Now, the game is early access, so we may bump into a few bugs. I think we'll be all right. It's been out for a little while now on itch.io and has a lot of pretty good reviews on the game. In fact, it was a 4.5 out of 5 stars last I checked, and it's due to release on Steam near the end of October. So I haven't played a whole lot of the game myself. I have a basic ideas of the controls, but I am no professional. However, we will learn together as we take this journey of life together, try to, make something of ourselves. Let's go ahead and start a new game. You've got the tutorials and the scenarios. There's only one scenario right now and 3 tutorials. We're not going to touch on that because I ain't worried about it. We're going to go right into a custom game. Now, we can pick where we want to start, and we can pick how we were born, and I'll get into that in a second, but let's start with where we're going to start. So we've got cities and we've got 2 towns. Now, the only difference between the city and the towns is more of a smaller location. It's supposed to be a little bit more secluded, a more easier sort of setting for the newer player to get into. You can see that there's locations 5, locations 9, and then we've got the city, which is locations 19. The city is the ultimate grand experience. So if we want to see what this game has to offer, I'm going to have to deliver the grand experience. So we're going to do the city of Sydney, Australia. Now we've got where we were born. This is essentially your difficulty level. On the top here, we've got on a golden pedestal, you can see we start with 20 privilege points. The privilege points you can use to spend on traits, and those traits can sometimes give you a massive leg up in the game from the get-go. Then it goes down the list all the way down to behind a dumpster. You can see we get -8 privilege points, which means if we want to start the game and get in there, we've got to get that -8 privilege points up to a positive number, which means we're going to have to take some negative traits. Very interesting and something to consider. So like I said, this is your difficulty level. Now, for those of you who are frequent viewers of the channel and subscribers, you know how I like to do things around here. So with that in mind, it would only make sense that I was born behind a dumpster, because I'm, serious about strategy, and I like playing games on harder difficulty settings, regardless of whether or not I know what I'm doing. So we're going to jump right in and play behind a dumpster. This is going to be really interesting. We've got -8 privilege points. So we're going to have to see what we're going to take. Now, we can select a preset profile. Not going to worry about that. We'll go ahead real quick and make our own profile. It doesn't take that long to do, and I want to make a particular character. So, our name will be Matt, our first name, and our last name is going to be Sabouts, Matt Sabouts. So we're going to go ahead and set an avatar. Now, you've got a few different ones here to choose from. And I think the awesome looking squirrel with the eye patch is definitely an aggressive look, but we're not going to worry about that because I'm much more in line, I think, with this cat here with the sort of little smile and the little cat tie. I don't know why, but it's just who wouldn't hire that cat? Honestly, if that cat walked in and sat up during your interview in the chair across from you, I wouldn't even have to ask it any questions. I'd instantly hire that cat. I'm sure that cat would be very good for customers. Customers would be very happy to have a cat come in and do work for them, I guess. But okay, current privilege points. So as you can see, we start at -8. That's because we picked the born behind a dumpster. We've got to get this to a positive number. To get it to a positive number, we're going to have to take some negative traits. Now, you've got a whole bunch here. Just to highlight a few: smoker, convicted criminal, poorly educated, pessimistic, short legs, poor negotiator, or shopaholic, and high-risk borrower. So a couple of different things. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go with smoker. It's one of the worst ones, but it'll give us the most privilege points to help boost us ahead, because if I don't pick smoker, I'm going to be picking an assortment of bad things that I'll have to deal with. I'd rather just deal with the one, which is smoker. So adds a smoking needs bar. In the game, there's different needs bar based off of certain things like your happiness, your fun, and such, and your hygiene. So we're going to need the smoker one, and it's going to give us a smoker needs bar, which means as that bar gets low, we're going to have to smoke, which means we're going to have to make sure we're going out and buying cigarettes and such. It's going to be hard to manage, but when you're born behind a dumpster, you're probably going to take up smoking because, well, you're probably just going to do it. So smoking it is. What else do we've got here? I think I'm going to go ahead with short legs. It seems like, 20% more time to travel around between the different locations, but it doesn't seem like, other than being a minor nuisance, I probably won't notice it because I haven't played the game enough. Then we're going to go ahead and go with poor negotiator. Gives me a 5% lower wages earned than usual. And 2, so I'm not going to make as much money, but again, like I said, since I'm somewhat new to the game, I probably won't notice it. Now, what's nice is that does give us 1 privilege point to spend, so we actually can start with a halfway decent trait, which is nice. We only get 2 options. One is credit worthy and one is coupon clipper. Credit worthy essentially means you start off with a decent credit score, so it'll be easier to obtain a loan. Coupon clipper means that you get a higher chance of getting coupons in the mail. I'm actually going to go with credit worthy, and the story behind this is essentially going to be that since I was born behind a dumpster and I've never really been in debt or had a loan, my credit score is neutral. I don't have a bad credit score or anything, so we're just going to assume that, use your imagination, I have a good credit score, because the coupon clipper seems at this point somewhat worthless to me. So let's get to close that out. And the last thing we've got to set up before we can get into the game, guys, is our preset goals. This is essentially where your end game is. So down here, you can see wealth, possessions, knowledge, and life happiness. And we could set this up so that we have a certain amount that'll signify the end of the game for us. Now, since we're already starting off in a really rough spot, I could come all the way up here. You've got some crazy ones like millionaire, acquire $1 million of wealth, luxurious life, so lots of possessions, lots of wealth, knowledge, life, happiness, but we're already starting off in a really hard difficulty setting. This is going to essentially dictate how long your playthrough goes as well. So we're just going to go for a better life because we're already behind a dumpster. So if we can acquire $100,000 in wealth, $10,000 in possessions, a little bit of knowledge, and a little bit of life happiness, we'll be good to go. The only thing I think I am going to alter here is the knowledge. I'm going to put that down to 100. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because I kind of want to go a different route this game, and you'll see what I mean as we progress through the playthrough. But let's go ahead and start the game. Now, actually, before I start this game, one thing I'm going to do, my recording software has been very weird with this game, which I find interesting. It doesn't seem to want to work all that great. I was getting these weird crashes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut right here real quick, just a slight cut. And then I'll start recording when I get into the game. So I'll see you guys in a second. All right, and so here we are back in the game. You can see here on the left-hand side all of my character information. It's week 1, year 2000. We're in Sydney, Australia. Economic growth at a current 5.58% rate. Interest rate sitting at 5%. Inflation at a comfortable 3%. We start off homeless, start off unemployed. We have $1,000 to our name. Time, which is essentially all of the hours in the week. We've got, because the game goes by weeks, we've got our happiness meter starting off at 50%. Everything else starting off full. We've got hunger, fun, hygiene, health in that dreaded smoking bar that we had to select. We're currently wearing casual clothing at 100%, but your clothing does wear down after a while, so you will have to go out and buy new clothing to replace it. We can click here and see our character, work performance. We're unemployed, our credit rating and such, electricity usage. You can see possessions. We currently don't own anything. Statements, so different tax stuff. And businesses if we own them, which is something I'd like to really try in the game. But right now, we're in a pretty rough spot because we were born behind a dumpster, but we're hanging out in the park, which is cool. So here we are at the Sydney Parklands. That pawn is our character there. Now, the very first thing we want to do is get a job. That's going to be the most important thing to do. So let's see. We've got two options here. We've got the Birdie's Cheap Appliances and the Burger Rule. There's other different jobs here, but I find that you're generally not going to nail them right out the gate. Maybe in retail for the clothing store. Maybe. There's Olympic Park. Maybe you'll get something, but these are always usually good places. The fast food's very easy to get into. If you go down here, you can apply for a job as a salesperson, but you need dress clothes, and dress clothes cost money. But full-time, $15, which is pretty good. So I think we're going to try to apply for the salesperson. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a set of dress clothes. Now, you can see dress clothes, they are going to cost us $257. So already we're in a somewhat rough spot. You can see there's actually jobs here, a salesperson. We could actually apply right here for a salesperson if we wanted to. Requires dress clothes, $15.65. Competition's low, provides sales experience and provides work experience. Let's submit an application and see if we can get it. Your application was rejected, not wearing dress clothes. Well, yeah, oops. It would make sense if I put my dress clothes on. Let's try that again. I think we can reapply. Yeah, you got the job. Congratulations. So there we go. We don't have to go work at a crappy fast food joint because we're a salesperson making $14.87 an hour. Now, the next thing we need to do is get an apartment. Let's go ahead and work a few hours. There we go. We're already hungry. Let's go get some food at the burger joint. Most expensive burgers you've ever seen in your life. I'm going to eat 2 of the wings instead. And then we've got Blacktown and Liverpool. I believe Liverpool's a little higher cost of living. Last I remember. So we're going to go right to Blacktown. It's really the cheapest place to live in, and we're going to try to save up as much money we can as the beginning of the game. So let's find a home. Now, you can actually buy a small house. It's going to be a lot more expensive, a rent of $12.79 paid monthly, but your possessions are safe up to $72,000. We're not going to have a lot of possessions in the beginning of the game, and by the time we have enough money to have 7,200 possessions, I hope we're living in a better place anyways. So we're going to focus on getting an apartment, which gives us a possession safe of up to $3,000, but it costs half of that to live in monthly at $639.60. Submit an application and welcome. So security right now is extremely high anyways, which is nice. We could do some different things in our house. We can order a pizza, very expensive pizza at $82, but we could shower, so that's good for our hygiene. And we can stare at the wall, which is fun, I guess. You get a 1.2 of fun for that. The week is almost over, so let's just stare at the wall for a little bit, and there we go. So we got end of week 1, 2000. There was a hot dog eating competition. We didn't go. Next week, nothing's expected, though. Then we can subscribe to different news, which I think is kind of interesting. Manage your subscriptions here. You can go and see, what they actually do. So an SMS service with useful tips on surviving life and achieving your dreams. And you can go down and see Financial Dime. So best source of financial information in the world, gives access to world data in the statements tab in your profile. So some of these we're going to want to work our way up to. But for now, we're just going to do the lively living and just kind of work on that. Now we can see that, and then we'll get the other subscriptions later. They cost money every week or every 4 weeks, so pretty expensive. What's this one? Monthly groceries delivered to your door. That's nice. Yeah, we do want to go grocery shopping and such at some point here, so we're not eating crappy food. And then lifetime goals. Right now we've got a possessions of 1% because we've got dress clothes. But other than that, happiness, not good. Knowledge, not good. Wealth is a little sliver there, but not even 1%. So let's go ahead and start week 2. Now, right off the bat, let's just go to work and get some hours banged out here. So work performance is B. Let's keep working. There we go. We're just going to work twice, and then we're going to go do something that's a little fun. I just don't know what. We can go stare at the wall, sure, but I would like to do something a little bit more enjoyable than staring at the wall. So we can exercise. That's good for health, but I'm looking more for something that's fun. Oh, we're hungry too. It's a really expensive snack. Oh, wow, that brought hunger up just a little bit too. Okay, groceries would be nice. $2.47 expires in 4 weeks when you own a fridge, 3 days without one. Wow, we need a fridge then. So groceries are not really practical right now. at all, actually. Let's get a carton of smokes. $619 for a carton of smokes? Oh my god. Oh, it's for 4 weeks supply though. Let's wait till we have a little bit more money before we start dropping it on smokes. We're definitely going to eat a burger. Let's go and stare at the wall a little bit. Or the whole day, I guess. Okay. What's the new tip here? Fraud can be committed against your main bank account, but not your savings bank account. Interesting. So we should put money in savings is essentially what I'm reading out of that. I'd like to get something here. What do we got? $1,200. Let's go to work. Oh, hunger's low, though. Let's eat. That would make sense. Let's order a pizza. There we go. Then go to work. We'll work a large amount of hours, but then we can eat some burgers and feel pretty good about ourselves. Okay, things are dropping now. Health, hygiene. We need to smoke soon. So let's go ahead and let's shower. And let's do something fun, right? We could harass passerbyers. I don't want to do that. I think that's a little risky. Why don't we go for a run, though? Eat a snack, and then let's do something fun. What about the collector's paradise? Oh, the day's over, though. And our apartment's due next week. Yikes. Okay. So actually what's going to make sense is go into the shopping town mall here or whatever and get our carton of smokes. So that way we're at least set up for smoking. Which sucks, but we've got to put up with it. We can work at least one small time there. That's pretty cool. We could have worked there, actually. That would have been nice. Is there anything fun we can do here? Watch sports game. It's $123. Gives you a lot of fun, though. But staring at a wall is free. It's expensive to eat out. We need to start getting groceries here soon. Okay, we got to smoke. Carton of smokes. Oh, how do I actually smoke? Does it just automatically go up when it's down? Probably. I'm sure that's what it does. Oh, no, we can smoke right here. Okay, there we go. That's really bad for our health, so we're going to want to keep running and everything to try to keep that up. Apartments due. We've got plenty of money for our rent. Boys, it's tough to balance everything. Happiness is still at 50%, but hunger's getting low. We'll order a pizza, I guess. And then let's at least go for a run. And then we'll head home. Okay, so there we go. Possession's a little bit higher now, mainly because we own a pack of cigarettes, which is interesting. So you made a payment for the apartment. An old friend called to talk about good old times. So we lost 10 hours, but we got 5 happiness, which is nice. Nothing expected next week. Donate to charity at the town hall for a quick but expensive happiness boost. Oh, interesting. So that's good to know. I like these subscriptions. That's a unique way to do it because you can subscribe to other different types of stuff too. Business Bi-Weekly. What do we get from that? Advanced tips on running your freelance/contractor business arrives in your mailbox every 2 weeks. Yes, that's something I want to work on, is starting my own business. But we're going to need some capital to do that. So we're not going to do it just yet. We're going to still be a salesperson here, hopefully getting some experience before we go out and start our own business. All right, so we're hungry. Eat a burger meal. We want to shower. Have a little bit of fun staring at a wall. And have a good smoke, I guess. And then stare at a wall a little bit longer. There we go. And so we're at the end of week 5. And with that being said, we're also at the end of this episode. Not too bad, actually. I think inflation's on the rise, I see. But we're doing pretty good. We've got $904 to our name. But we have an apartment. We've got a pretty good paying job. And we're doing all right. You know, everything's kind of across the board even here. I think I definitely know I want to start my own business, but like I said, I want some starting capital before I do that. So I think what we're going to need to do is maybe start looking for jobs that pay a little bit more. I won't focus on it too much. We'll keep working here and just balancing our life out, trying to put as much away as we can. We might open a bank account or something right there, the Con Manuel's bank. Start putting some money in savings, but we'll balance everything out and get it all set up and ready to go. decide where we want to advance, I guess, from here. But with that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me. I do hope that you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.